Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 241 on June 30th, 2021. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello.
Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys.
And Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
And everybody is back.
What? Did something happen?
I don't know. It was weird. It was like last week felt different, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
I usually listen to these episodes, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, quite frankly. So
You didn't miss much. It was just, two men being intimate.
Yeah, that was
Whoa.
One of the stream titles possibilities.
Now I gotta listen. Okay. Okay.
How's everybody doing?
Wabbit's letting us know that we muted the live stream.
No, are you sure it's not you, Wabbit, like last time?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, I'm back, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't decided. Not that I'm back here, but that I'm back home.
Okay.
Vacation was definitely too short, but in some ways it was too long. And after hours, we can go into that.
Oh, okay. If you want. Well, I also took a nice vacation last week, and we decided, my wife and I, to go to Vegas. Woo-hoo! And we just we'll pick this week. It should be fine. It's early. It's about halfway through June. It shouldn't be too hot. Yeah, it was 116 the day we got there. But actually, we did just fine in that heat. We were actually just fine in that. Yeah. It was a dry heat, so it wasn't bad at all.
It's like standing in front of the oven.
Yeah. But it was fine, and but it was warm, and we actually hit our wall on the third day after hitting 20,000 steps that day. We finally got okay, I think we're exhausted now.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you finally go to CES. 20,000 steps ain't nothing.
I'm sure, but still. That was enough on those hot days that we finally went, okay, I think we need to call it.
And there's a reason why a lot of people do Vegas at night and not during the day.
Yeah, it got down to 101 at night. It was insane. It's like, geez, this is crazy. Wabbit says that apparently it was also super hot here as well, and I'm sure it was. But it was hot when we got back, too.
Except up there, it'd be even worse because of the humidity.
Yeah, it was 118 when I landed in Phoenix, and that was at 9 o'clock at night, I think.
Man, it's they call it a heat dome, and Pacific Northwest was over it. And as of yesterday, we got out from underneath the dome, and it hit a high of 86, and it was wonderful.
Dude, 116 in Portland is bananas.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Portland is humid. It's not that humid, but I've never seen it over. I think when we lived in Vancouver, I think the highest I ever saw.
Well, I think he had mentioned last week that the record is 117.
Okay.
So I mean,
we beat our record.
It's been there before, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw those kinds of numbers, but I could just be misremembering.
It's not normal. That's the high.
Portland, in my opinion, Portland, Vancouver area has probably just about the best summers in the world.
Meanwhile, Jimmy is sitting there in the corner going, "Yeah, you wimps."
Well, it never really gets all that hot here where I live. I mean, 92 is about the hottest it'll get in the summertime.
Yeah.
But what the problem is that the sun is really strong down here, right? Even though it's only 92, you go outside and that sun will burn you pretty good, right? It'll just kind of beat you down. Even though you go to Vegas or somewhere like that, it's hotter, right? But you do feel the heat there, but it's the sun that's strong here in southern Florida where I live.
Yeah.
When I went to Florida, it was crazy hot then too, and humid. So,
well, it depends on where in Florida.
Yeah, Orlando. When I've gone to Orlando, it's so humid that it's very unpleasant. But it also gets hotter in Orlando than it does there, probably because of the coastal.
Orlando's landlocked in the
Yeah. See, Orlando, you'll get like maybe like 90% humidity or something like that. To where down here where I'm at, because of what you said, Mike, is being close to the ocean.
Yeah.
We're like about maybe 75% humidity.
Well, I mean, Orlando was built on a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean, that's
a
to be
true
expected.
statement.
I mean, yeah.
Somebody told old Walt, "I'll sell you some swampland," and he said, "Sure, I'll turn it into amusement park."
Actually, he said, "I want that land," and they said, "Why?" So I'm going to build a thing, and they kept saying, "Why?"
Wow. It worked out for him, though.
Yeah.
The true field of dreams.
All right.
Yeah, swamp of dreams, more like.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we actually here to talk about? Aside from
news,
swamps
we have news, and we have a decent amount this week. So let's get started. We have a story here from Ars Technica. YouTube TV just launched 4K support. This allows you to pick up the ability to watch your favorite channels and shows that are available on YouTube TV if they provide them on a 4K stream. It's going to charge. They're going to charge you $20 for the option to do that. With that $20 fee, they also give you a couple other cool features like offline playback, which means you would be able to watch some of your recorded or your on-demand shows with a local copy on your device, in case you want to use it while you're offline. And also, normally you have a limit of about 3 streams inside your household on YouTube TV. If you pay the $20, there you have no limit whatsoever inside the house.
Wow.
Isn't it $70 already? So this would make it $90.
It's 65.
65.
So it'd make it $85.
$85.
Yeah, I mean, so basically.
Yeah, at that point, you're paying pretty darn close to what you would with traditional cable, and getting probably something that's relatively comparable, in some ways better, in some ways worse.
Except you're not getting the bundles and cheaper internet.
And you can quit whenever you want.
And that's why I said some ways better, in some ways worse, right?
Yep.
I feel like, I don't know. I used YouTube TV for a little while, and I don't feel like it's worth that kind of price. And $20 for 4K is pretty steep. I mean, when I get 4K with Netflix, I go from like 12 or 13 a month to 18 a month. It's like $5 a month. It's like,
see, I don't even have 4K with Netflix anymore, because once it went up to that $18, I said nope. And I went down to the lowest tier I could without losing the multi-streams.
right.
Or I went down to 2 streams, but rather than the 4 concurrent.
For $85, is it at least commercial free?
Yeah.
No. But so we complain about the price, but we have to remember, everybody, that the reason why the price is so high is not because YouTube TV wants it to be that high.
No, it's the agreements.
The agreements that are in the system for this kind of service require these prices to be high enough if they want to continue being profitable.
Sure.
And for a long time, they were a loss leader. When it was the $35 a month, they totally were doing loss leading to get you signed up and in there.
Absolutely.
And I cannot imagine what a standard, satellite or cable connection cost is right now, that isn't, if it's not being somehow heavily subsidized by something else. I cannot, because after that first year agreement that goes up to the crazy prices with the satellites, and I know that somehow Comcast always has a way of getting you a good deal. I know that because that's what they do. But no, if we were all paying, the actual prices, I'm sure those there are people who have over $200 bills for cable, so it's not insane.
I mean, this gets down to back to that original reason that I always wanted to go to an internet-based solution, was the idea of not having to have all of that crap that I don't want and paying for all of that crap that I don't want.
Right.
I mean, I have not touched ESPN since the Boise State football season ended in 2019. So there's been zero reason. I mean, maybe there was some games in 2020. I can't even remember. I think there were, but so I don't want to pay probably $4 a month or whatever for ESPN. And it's just really frustrating to me. That's one of the reasons why I feel like I'm pretty close to just canceling everything again and just going back to, I've got Netflix and I'll subscribe to Hulu when there's a show on there that I want to watch, and otherwise to heck with them.
Is there a term for that? Somebody who cut the cord, they got onto these streaming services like this and you recut the cord?
Like, I mean, the cord, these are becoming the cord. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, is like the idea of cutting the cord was getting away from an all-in-one package. And now we're back to an all-in-one package.
So, I mean, basically, you want to do what I've been doing this whole time. Is because, I only subscribe to the thing that I actually care about in that moment. There are a couple things that I continue to pay just because other people depend on it. Like, that's the only reason I have a Netflix subscription. And I cut that down as small as I could. But the only thing that is eternal is my Hulu connection. Everything else comes and goes, and that includes Prime. Because I don't shop a whole lot on there, and primarily a lot of the stuff that we do for Movie Party ends up being on Prime. But a lot of those I end up buying or renting anyway, so it doesn't matter if I have a Prime subscription at any given time. But if my family manager is watching, I don't care about 4K on YouTube TV. So I would say don't spend the money. I doubt you're gonna, but
remember, guys, we didn't realize that we were still watching things in 720p, so we're fine.
Yeah.
I still believe that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's crazy here is what you get. You only get 4K for some content on like 4 channels. I mean, it's not really 4 channels, but it may as well be 4 channels because nobody's watching half of them. I mean, what's Taste Made? I've never even heard of it. So it's pretty ridiculous to pay $20 for that. Yep. Anyways, too expensive.
Yeah, I know. All right. So here's the thing going on. If you are a fan of the Women's Championship League, UEFA, looks like that it'll be streaming for free on YouTube thanks to a deal that's been made with DAZN. That means that they're going to be able to watch looks like the first 2 seasons on YouTube, and then eventually it will be moving to the it's not DAZN, it's what is it? How do you pronounce it? How do they pronounce it?
DAZN.
No, actually, they have a different way of pronouncing it. I forget. But anyway,
Asian.
No, I don't remember. It sounds weird. It sounds like a completely different word than how it's spelled. But no, they are
DAZN.
Yes, DAZN, the sports streaming network, and right now you are getting the first 2 seasons for free, and before it moves over to the other platform.
Yeah, right. And this one is YouTube, not YouTube TV.
Correct.
Yes. So you don't have to pay $100 for it.
You might have to watch a commercial.
Yeah, unless you pay for that to be commercial free, and you can.
Yep.
All right, a couple stories about Lowcast. Looks like Lowcast is adding a bunch of new features available coming up immediately. You've got profiles, so you can go ahead and make your own favorites based on what you like versus maybe somebody else in the household. It's got your ability to have a turn on closed captioning. I mean, that's awesome. That's something that should have been there a while ago, quite frankly. And it looks like they're doing some minor upgrades to the guide and things like that. So good on Lowcast getting those things working for her.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And related to that is Lowcast is now up to almost 3 million users around the United States. I don't think they're outside the States right now. But they did just open up another area, which is the Columbus, Ohio TV market. And so if you are in that area and you have been interested in getting your locals for $5 a month through them, or getting annoyed every 15 minutes with a please donate for free, you can go now access the Lowcast system.
Yeah, they I think it was like last week or the week before, they announced they were in the Raleigh-Durham area, North Carolina. So yeah, this Ohio thing that brings them up to nearly 3 million users. That's a significant number.
That's not
I want to know how many of them are paying the $5 a month,
and how many of them are people like me who I tried it once.
but how many of them are the people that are currently angry that they have to keep getting kicked out of the show every 20 minutes, which I did confirm is an actual thing that happens. But yeah, congratulations, Lowcast.
Price you have to pay for free things.
Sure.
Be annoyed. All right, here we are with a little story here about the Roku remote. You know, the Roku remote comes with these little buttons that are programmed to specifically for specific apps.
Absolutely hate those things.
It looks like this article, which is by the New York Post, was quite snarky. In saying that Apple quietly buys Roku remote button for its struggling Apple TV Plus app. I mean, seriously, is that really the case? You think they're struggling? All I gotta say is,
number one, the fact that Apple shelled out money to get their button put on the Roku remote
means they have money.
That's huge. No. That's huge, because that is Apple saying, "Hey, we want people to know our app is available elsewhere.
Yeah.
We
That
want
actually makes
people
sense.
using it." Because normal Apple, I would say normal Apple stuff is, the intentional silo. You want everybody to be on their device. You don't want them using Roku unless they absolutely have to. But now that they're like, please use it on Roku, is a different message. And I think that's what they were getting at.
I get that, but at the same time, so I see what you're saying, because let's take a couple other examples that they've done in the past. iTunes, when it first came out on Windows, was a big fanfare, but I don't think Apple, did they make a big fanfare about it for being on Windows? I can't remember, but it was a huge news item because it was a huge news item. Also, when Apple Music went on to Android, I don't remember them making a big fanfare about that either. So.
No, they didn't. They didn't make a big fanfare about it being on Windows because it was a terrible app that destroyed your music catalogs.
Yes,
iTunes.
but still, a lot of people loved it, and it was a huge hit.
Exactly. Steve Jobs said it was like giving somebody a glass of ice water who was in hell.
Yeah.
No, I remember the release of the iTunes on the Windows app. It basically was Apple conceding that it could not do the iPod on just solely the Apple ecosystem. It also allowed the original iPods to start working on Windows machines if you had the FireWire port on your device. So it was it's because before then you really couldn't do anything if you were a Windows user and you had an iPod. So it was kind of a necessary step, and it was a huge success. Really, a lot of people went.
I mean, it was a different ecosystem at the time too, though. That was before Apple was. I mean, people knew what Apple was, but it wasn't something that was in a huge majority of.
Yeah, it wasn't the household name that it is.
Yeah.
No.
So they were keeping it siloed with only other Apple products was was just illogical at the time. It was a good way to get it tested and get the first generation out and work out some of the big bugs that the first generation of the iPod had, and then move it on to other products and allow it to be available and usable by pretty much everybody in the world. And you know, we get the same thing with the iPhone, right? The iPhone can be used independently and work just fine for people that don't have other Apple devices. You know, they continue to sort of use that model, but now they've got such a broad dispersion across the population that they don't have to. They can stay siloed if they want to.
Well, I thought I remember reading about, especially the iTunes part going to Windows. It was more the music industry was kind of had a play in that, right? To be able to sell the songs for 99 cents. You know, you had to increase the user base, that kind of thing.
So how I remember it is Apple said, we're going to sell these for 99 cents. But at the time, they were still stuck. If you had your original iPod, it was so cool because it was a small brick that you could fit in your pocket that had a FireWire port that you could plug into your Mac. And it was cool. It'd even charge over that port. It was amazing. And the click wheel. Remember the click wheel?
Well, the tagline was, 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when they decided to do this, the iPod actually sales blew up because a lot of Windows users like, man, I always wanted one of these, but I never wanted a Mac. And so it blew up. And so the 99-cent thing that they started finally steamrolled into taking over the world. And so that's where we've been ever since. So it was a big significant point in that kind of piece of computer and music history. So absolutely.
The only thing I want to comment about on this story is if you scroll down, there's a picture of Welcome to Apple TV on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that's actually there. Because if you look at the remote he's holding, that's like an original Roku remote. With the yellow and the blue button, which I don't think this app would run on that Roku.
Well, they made the app available for...
No. I'm saying this is that's original Roku hardware from 12 years ago.
Oh, based on the
I don't
remote,
think
you're
it would support it.
Oh, you're saying based on the remote. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This is for the Roku 3.
Okay.
And it might actually work on it.
Barely.
But I will say this.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's supported.
I have to open this up and see if the batteries are corroded. Hold on.
But about Welcome to Apple TV, I can tell you that the Apple TV app on the Apple TV doesn't say that.
Yep, that's true. All right. Motion controls and play Angry Bird with it. Absolutely. Speaking of playing games though with your remote, Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally becoming available to everybody. Beforehand, you had to have an invite, which it was probably not possible for people to get, but now it's just generally available. You can go ahead and download and get access to your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and play 100 of these amazing games. Now, are they the world's best game? There's some pretty good Xbox games on there, apparently. I'm kind of interested in seeing what you can play on there. How long it's been since I've played Halo? A long time. So maybe, who knows? I might try this out. That's what I'm trying to say.
So if you're listening to this might be a little bit of deja vu because we did talk about this last week.
What? We did?
That the next gen upgrade that's rolling out will give you additional benefits to certain games. Some of them will be graphical. Some of them will just be strictly loading times, like on Dirt 5. But yeah, this is cool. Though I think the big news though is that it's coming to iOS, right?
Yes, they have decided to bring it to iOS, and it's obviously they went ahead and did it in the way everybody expected it to come to iOS through Safari, or if you wish, I believe you can actually download the Edge app for for on your iOS device and play it on there as well. It's funny that it doesn't work on Chrome though, if that's the case.
Well, yeah, it makes more sense that it would be on Safari and Edge, because Edge is Microsoft's product and Safari is native to the Apple devices. If they were running it on Chrome, that's bringing in a completely different person's as the middleman. So yeah, if I were the one making that call, that's the direction I would go as well. I'm not saying that it would never work on Chrome on
Right.
iOS, but
Yeah. But never say it would either.
I wouldn't even put that out there. Just be like, nope, because they have direct control over the Edge,
Right.
and then and like I said, Safari's native, so.
So I'm
a no-brainer.
excited to that this means it's official. Xbox Cloud is alive and working on devices. And just this last week, I'm sure you guys talked about that Google Stadia is now available on the Android devices, certain ones. I would love to talk a little bit about playing on my Android device. I did a little bit of that last week when I got back. I was like, "Ooh, finally I could try it," but I can wait for after the show. Short version. I'm excited about trying all these out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So NVIDIA has a cool little thing that they've been working on for a while. It's they call it Canvas. And I think we might have even mentioned this before, but it's basically allows you to use their deep AI called the GAUGAN. I think sometimes companies make up the world's worst names. In order to allow you to literally paint the rough outline of something and tell it what it's supposed to be. And it does a great job of interpreting that with all of its AI and all of its learned knowledge of what things are supposed to look like, and take your thing and make it look realistic and real. And if you've seen the pictures don't do it justice, because if you watch the video, you can see them do it live, and you can see as they are painting things onto this, it is live making this scene come to life in amazing ways. This picture here of the beach with the rocks, would they make a floating island if they put a rock in the sky? I have no idea, but I'd love to find out.
That's bananas. This looks super cool to play around with.
This seems like the newest thing to take advantage of glitches and misunderstandings.
Oh, sure. All I gotta say is, those paintings of like your 4-year-old did, or even younger, and it was like trying to draw a house and none of the lines are straight, and the people have 6 legs out for some reason because they were trying to draw 4 or 2 legs, or the horse with 6
Sounds
legs.
like my current drawing.
I want to see how those drawings are interpreted by this. See what comes out of it. And see, my son he's an artist. Look at how well he can draw.
This brings back a joke that I learned back in probably elementary school, where it starts out as someone drawing a house with snow on the roof and a front door. And then somebody points out, no, that's my dad bending over in the shower to get the soap. And then all of a sudden your reality switches and you go, oh.
We'll see how the AI handles that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot there's a sun.
Does AI see the old woman, that classic, the old lady and young lady? Does the AI see old ladies or young ladies?
Excellent question.
I definitely will play with this.
I want to play with this when I get the chance. Does it require you to have your own?
You have to have an NVIDIA
RX
GTX
GPU
graphics card. So
well, what if they're $2,000 and you can't get one? Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We've been talking about all the different streaming services, and so that HBO finally came to Roku and all that, and we were like, they're all on everything, right? Everything made it, right? Uh, it looks like we still hadn't had Peacock available on the
launched
Amazon
last
device
week.
yet. Yeah. Well, apparently it's now available on your Amazon Fire TV and tablets. So. Yeah, apparently it took this long. Why did it take so long, guys? I mean,
I don't know,
seriously.
but we discussed that at length last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean I was I had lamented that that Mike wasn't here to comment because he's the one that would potentially find use. So are you excited about the Peacock being available on your Fire devices?
Peacock on Fire.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest.
Yeah.
You don't watch NBC originals? You'll be able to subscribe and watch Yellowstone?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I'm not aware of anything that would draw me into that.
See, if Yellowstone had been based in Idaho and not Montana, then you might be interested. You don't care about Kevin Costner in Montana.
I don't care about
Blowing
Kevin
up
Costner
mountains
in
to
anywhere, but
blowing up mountains to redirect rivers because the gentrification people are encroaching his land.
So, in other words, Kevin Costner being Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I mean,
Being
I haven't.
Awesome.
I know nothing about the show. It sounds like maybe it's decent, but
I watched the first episode because it was, or the first episode because it was free on Peacock, and then I haven't watched it anymore because I don't subscribe to Peacock, and only the new episodes are airing on YouTube TV or are available in my library on YouTube TV because it was on the it was on some channel that nobody ever watches, but okay.
yeah.
All right. Here's a story about TCL. They've, I believe we talked a little bit about this during CVS, that they have
Walgreens.
this, yeah, that they have this heads-up display that is basically a wearable television that for you to watch your TV on, and so they was called Project Archery. And it was able to give you full 4K content with a giant 16:9 aspect ratio display on your face. And it looks like a 140-inch screen. And it looks like it is now finally going to become available as of next month.
Okay, great. Where do I buy it?
It is an excellent question, and I don't know. I'm trying to
think
find
it
that.
says right up at the top under the title.
But only in Australia.
In Australia.
Okay, so I gotta. Luckily, I kind of know a couple people in Australia. I wonder if I can buy it and then have it shipped to the U.S.
Ship it to them. Give them an extra $100 and have them ship it to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'll have them buy it and then ship it to me because it's only available down there.
It also does 3D 4K content.
Wow.
I'm curious, what standard does Australia use? Because there's still the NTSC versus PAL thing going on, right?
No, I believe HDMI is universal around the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it is all 60 hertz anymore. I think they've gotten rid of the 50 hertz. I could be wrong. But I believe they picked on a standard. Thank you. Standards are good. God dang it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Verizon, the lowest standard I have. Verizon Verizon thinks they're a tech company. Did you know during the CES lineup, there was a whole section of that show dedicated to Verizon and their gaming? Can you think of any Verizon games?
No,
I can't.
I can think of several tech offerings that Verizon has tried through the years. They developed the streaming box that ended up they bailed on it. This was back in 2014.
The closest thing that I know of Verizon gaming is that I had a Nokia phone on Verizon. I could play Snake. That's it. But besides that, yeah, Verizon is making their own Alexa-based smart display. Sorry for all you, all you A-word people out there. Sorry if I said
all
it
you
wrong.
A words and your Amazons. Get with the
So,
times and get something.
You will be able to use this device very much like your standard Amazon Assistant-based display, smart display, but instead you can also use the word "Hey Verizon" to talk to it, because Verizon. It apparently has 4G LTE support. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Really?
I mean, I want this roughly as much as I want Bigsby.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this is. I go get something from Amazon if you want. I bet you it's cheaper and better in almost every way. Unless you have to have a thing with its own 4G connectivity, which something else in your house does and can share it. I guarantee you, it's probably going to be cheaper. Just do it that way, guys. Ugh.
Yeah, and like I said, this isn't the first time that Verizon's tried to do their own hardware offerings. I don't think it'll be the last, and it has never gone well.
I mean, it's just since it's just using the Echo, I'm sure it's going to work really well. I just don't understand why they don't call it an Echo-enabled device rather than.
Well, I mean, they got to compete with. They want to compete with Lenovo.
No,
Lenovo's got their own screens that are based on the Google platform.
Right.
Yeah, right. But that's my point is
the
Lenovo ones are Google Assistant enabled screens, as opposed to this is a Verizon screen that uses Alexa to power a custom. Yeah, never mind. I'm not talking to you. To power a custom assistant for them. It's just. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. If you really wanted to do a device, fine. But I mean, I'm on the same page as you. It's stupid for them to do the device in the first place. But this just compounds the stupidity.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
And it was the Verizon Stream TV that I was thinking of, that they had a while back. And
I am bringing that up just because I don't remember.
Yeah, because that was a recent one, and then there was the other one that was coincided with was it Go 90? There was someone that was developing this would have been like 2013, 2014. Someone was developing a box that was going to be like a Roku competitor. And then Verizon stepped in and took it over and then basically ran it into the ground. It never came out. And
you'll have to forgive me. My opinion of Verizon is too low. I've seen them do stuff that every time it seems like they mess it up.
I'm with AT&T because I ran away from Verizon. And
I ran away from Verizon and went to Sprint. That tells you something.
So you're on T-Mobile.
And I'm the exact opposite of you, Clyde. I am with Verizon because I ran away from AT&T. So,
and I'm with T-Mobile because I ran away from AT&T.
You are all. That's fine. That's fine.
And we could talk about that in the post show. But yeah, so I think it's unanimous. Nobody really cares about.
No, not really. But hey, you were talking about a Lenovo and their display.
I already have a smart screen in my kitchen that I never even look at. I don't need this.
No, I have. I actually like these guys. This is the Lenovo $90 Smart Clock 2. Their Smart Clock 1 was just a really tiny screen Google Assistant style device. It was simplified. It didn't even use the standard Google display on there. It was actually much simplified from that, but it still would allow you to ask questions, and it would answer it as a smart speaker with maybe some display on top.
Sure.
This new version is will act as a nightlight if you needed to. Don't know if that's a thing you'd be interested in. Some people like that, but it also has a wireless charger built into it, so there's a spot for you to put your thing that needs to be charged. So for $90, we're getting down to the price that it is. And for this kind of stuff, I want it to be cheap enough that I could that's fine.
Okay. I am willing to bet that the whole nightlight thing is just them trying to put a spin on LCD monitors, that when they go to black, it's not actually black, and it illuminates your entire room.
Probably.
So that the device doesn't actually turn the screen off; it just goes black, which then lights up your room, and they're calling that the nightlight. That's my guess.
You are right. It might be completely that, but and apparently it's the actual pad that lights up as a nightlight instead of the display. Also, I could not quickly search to whether this was an LCD or an OLED display. If it was an OLED, that's much better for that kind of thing.
OLED's much better.
Would be much better. That's okay. No, I think it's a cute little device. I would I'd be interested in it, quite frankly.
It's $90 though.
Right, that's what it starts at. It's going to be down to 45 by Christmas time.
Those LG ones, the Lenovo ones, they hang on until their end of life, and then they clearance them. Okay. Because the other one that was like $200, the first big screen,
the one that I got that it was actually then suddenly on sale for $130 at Costco.
Yep, and that was when they announced that they were coming out with something new, wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. It didn't seem like it was that long after it was announced. That was pretty quick that year. So who knows? Lenovo is known to sometimes come up with some really deep discounts for their items. So
I couldn't get that first Lenovo one because the speaker was on one side,
right,
and the lack of symmetry just hurt my brain. And it's like I can't look at it. It just no. So.
Okay. All right. If you have an LG TV, which we do have somebody here who does have one, you are able to use it with specific apps, like you've been able to use it for Messenger and Zoom and things like that if you want to. But also, looks like it's getting dedicated support if you plug in a Facebook Portal TV. This is the webcam that you can attach to your TV in order to make it so you can use the Facebook Portal app and talk to your family members using it. And leaving the standard news side of this aside and putting on my editorial hat. Please don't do that.
I think Clyde's going to go buy this today.
I would if I had an LG TV, I would be right out there because I cannot wait to give Facebook unfettered access into everything that goes on inside my house, whether I'm aware that they're watching or not.
But there's a sliding cupboard.
We all have such trust in Facebook as a arbiter of our data that.
Oh, absolutely.
Why wouldn't we?
To the point that I didn't shut down my account 3 years ago and never logged back in.
Yeah, I have an LG TV, but I wouldn't plug this virus device into my television. That's for sure.
I direct you back to last week's show title, which was Facebook equals computer virus.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I want to know, how much did Facebook pay LG before LG finally said, fine.
Because it's integrated into the Think apps, and so it's really no computer required. No, it's really integrated right into their system. So
yeah,
I would totally buy one of these so I could take it apart and see what's inside and then break it and throw it away. Totally, that's what I would do. Wait until it gets on sale though.
Just go get a Microsoft Connect.
I have one of those.
There you go. You're good to go.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so
Uh,
sad when they stopped providing support for the Kinect. I mean,
Aw.
not support, but making new games and stuff.
nah. There's only so much
Which
you can
was
do.
like immediately.
Yeah, it didn't last very long. It was a cool idea. It just didn't surface well.
Well, I have to say that comes with the Connect Adventure game. We played an awful lot of that game.
Yeah.
And we did. Hey, Netflix is adding new features. This new feature will allow you to, if you're on a Android device, start to download your show, and then, whoops, I left the house or got away from the Wi-Fi or got on the airplane with airplane mode, and you didn't get all the show, but you got like 90% of it, and you wish you could watch that 90%. Hey, now you can. That's right. If you have not completely finished downloading the show, you can watch it anyway offline. Apparently, this is also coming to iOS in the coming months, so hopefully that'll be happening soon.
I don't get this. But I guess there's someone that's going to be so desperate that they're like, I've only got 31% of this half-hour show, but I have to watch something.
I imagine it's well, like me, I remember to download and update my stuff right before I get on the plane. So like I was sitting in my seat with my seatbelt buckled and the flight attendant saying, "Okay, everybody turn your devices off." And I'm like, "Quick, download more music. I don't have enough to get me through the flight." And then, get up in the air and lose signal. Not that I left it out of airplane mode. I definitely didn't do that.
Wait, what's airplane mode?
There was a fake thing
Yeah.
they did because they had no idea whether or not the radio waves inside your device would somehow crash the plane. So they just decided to make a rule that said you're not allowed
So
to
they
have
got rid
anything.
of that rule a long time ago, right?
A couple years ago, actually, they did.
Everybody's still demanding that you put your phone on on. I'm like, sure.
Yeah. I was like, I'm very concerned about this airplane if the little tiny device in my hands can take it down. Come on, guys. Come on. That said, yeah. So I imagine this being something that would be useful for somebody like that. Like you've got a 2-hour movie you're trying to download and you get it like 90% downloaded. And then you want to watch it. And, from a development perspective, it requires changing some pretty significant things about the way the files are managed and loaded. So it is not a trivial update for most streaming and video applications. So I think it's nice that they put the effort into it. It's not a make or break feature, but it's a good feature to have.
All I've got to say is when I like, okay, we're going to go on a trip. Let's go ahead and have it start downloading all these videos. And the genius design of it, of course, tries to download them all in parallel.
Yeah.
And so they're all downloading at the same time. We all go to bed,
partial.
we wake up, and they're all about 85, 90% done, but it's like time to go. And so the iPad, which, was supposed to be the entertainment for the long trip, has nothing to show for the whole trip. And my wife gives me that look of, what did you do? I was like, I didn't.
That can't possibly still be the way it is, though.
I hope not.
That must have been a while ago, because that's pretty atrocious from a user perspective.
Yeah,
It
you should queue up 2 at max.
There's this thing called queues.
Yeah.
When the one thing is done, then the next thing goes.
Yeah. I don't know. All I got to say is...
All I know is all of you that are worried about having enough content to get you through the plane, there's a thing you should probably look into. It's called take a nap. If everybody on the plane took a nap, plane rides would be much more...
You're making the assumption that everybody sleeps upright, no snoring, no drooling.
They make stuff that'll let you do that.
Enough full of small bottles like this, and you'll sleep.
I think that the flight staff should be given those syringes of the sleeping stuff, specifically dosed to how long you're going to be in the air.
Just
So
like
3 hours. So like, just a little bit. Or if it's an international flight, it's like 8 to 12 hours. You get the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. I'm your flight anesthesiologist.
Yep.
Yes, please. Me on airplanes, those seats, I don't know why. They're just the perfect for me, where I cannot get comfortable, but my back gets tired of trying to lean back into it or trying to sit up straight. I just, for whatever reason, they don't fit me right. And just a little bit of that much lean back is not enough for anything to happen. And so after any kind of a long flight, I mean, just the flight we just took, which is only a couple hours, it was okay. But by the end of the flight, I was like, I'm done. I'm so happy we're done. Because my back is killing me. So
yeah, I mean, I can sleep anywhere, anytime, pretty much. So I can sleep on an airplane, but I wake up with a headache if I sleep in a weird position. So on an airplane,
I sleep like that.
Yeah, and I would snore. I'd be doing exactly that and snoring. I don't fall over, but that's the thing is I've seen so many people like go to sleep on an airplane and then they like droop onto the person next to them. And if that person isn't your significant other or family member, that's not cool.
No.
You just need to get those head strap thingy that keeps your head, keeps you like in place. That's all.
Everybody should have like one of those as on their seat so that they can just like so the person next to them can just deploy it when it's needed. Yep. It's like, oh, that person fell asleep and is drooping towards me.
Yeah, the one you get isn't for you, it's for your neighbor, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's not for you. All right, we have a story about Samsung. They are going to be doing a new show this summer, which is called Unpacked. And what the cool thing is that, for me at least, the reason why I put the story on here is that they are going to be introducing their new Wear OS watch when this comes out. As they announced at the I/O earlier this year, Samsung has partnered with Google in order to make an Android based or an Android Wear based or now Wear OS based device. And quite frankly, my favorite Android devices back in the day were the Samsung ones before they try to do their own thing. And so they make great hardware. I'm looking forward to seeing if this is going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Well, this is we talked about this a couple weeks ago when they made the announcement that they were going to have the new phone or the new watch that is that they're partnering with Google. A lot of people freaked out. Why are they killing Tizen? They're not killing Tizen. They're
making a model.
They're making a alternative. You know, it's Google's Wear OS, whatever. We'll see. But I mean, the big news is that they're actually gonna have one to show here at this next show. So,
I'm excited to see it. So I apologize for my excitement.
Yeah, no, I mean, not at all.
Yeah, the only question I have is, are they going to integrate a voice assistant or are they going to put Bixby on it?
Well, no, this is building. They're building it for Google to the Google standard. So Bixby will continue to be on their watches, but I doubt it. Bixby would be on this watch.
Okay, good.
We'll see. If it is, we'll let you know.
You know, think of this like when Samsung was making the Nexus phone or made a couple Nexus phones.
Wasn't that those were amazing phones?
And those were the Samsung phones that everybody was like, these are great. Yeah. Because it was not.
It was Google.
It didn't have the Samsungification of everything, which I've got things to.
It got bad there for a while. It's gotten a little better.
It's gotten bad now.
It was really bad for a while there. It was like,
someone remind me in the post show. I've got Samsung usage updates.
Somebody else can put that in the stories because I have to talk about the fact that if you have not yet signed up for Amazon Music Unlimited, guess what? They are now trying to get you to sign in by giving you a free 6-month subscription to Disney Plus. That's right. If you are a new user to the music service and you decide to sign up for their Music Unlimited, which is an $8 a month platform, that will allow you to get a free months of Disney Plus while you're using the service. So up to 6 months will be made available for you for free on the Disney Plus subscription, which it's a good promotion, I gotta say. But is it necessary? I mean, I feel like this is it could either be seen as like a sign of desperation, like, oh no, we need to figure out how to get our numbers up, or our numbers are falling, we have to stop the bleeding, or this is just them flaunting, whatever influence and money they have in order to be able to make this kind of a bonus to try to make their things.
This does
better. Which way do you think
like
it is?
this does seem a lot like a guy with a white van offering candy to the passing children. Seriously, please get in the van. I'll give you free Disney Plus if you just get in the freaking van.
That's not a good way of putting it. Thanks.
That's the way I look at this. I don't know. If you really want Disney Plus and you're hard up for a music subscription service, isn't $8 more, like $3 more expensive than Disney Plus by itself?
Yes,
like
it is.
$5.
Yes, it is.
So you get Disney Plus and music for an additional $3.
It's an excellent deal, really. It's a really good promo.
Sure, it can be a great deal if that's something you're in the market for.
Yeah.
I might have to, because like I said a couple weeks ago, Spotify is going out of its way to try and get me to lose me as a customer. I might have no choice but switch over. We'll see.
All right. So it looks like your Amazon assistant, which I will try not to use the name again, has now got a way for it to start reading to your kids. If you have an Amazon Echo device, you can connect it to your Echo, can make it an Echo Kids device in particular. You can tell it that you want to read, and it will read up to 700 different titles with your children that are designed for kids from ages about 6 to 9 years old. So that's a fairly large library of read along books, which is pretty nice. But this is also coming out with apparently an ability to set up voice profiles for your children, up to 4 kids on your account, and you can have them. What's so funny, sir?
I'm just reading the disclaimer at the end.
I was going to say this sounds good to me, because I feel like at this point I can almost just not even be involved in my kid's life at all, and the Echo will take care of teaching my kid to read.
And that goes right into the disclaimer that says, yes, Amazon is aware that teachers and their parents and teachers should be involved in reading whenever possible. It's not suggesting that you use a smart speaker as a substitute for reading at bedtime. Reading Sidekick is meant to fill in the gaps and encourage kids to read aloud more often. You don't have to worry quite so much if a business trip gets you away from home.
Yeah, I was reading that. I was reading that as well, which was what spurred my comment. It's just like,
I tell you, Amazon is by and large, we're all becoming Wally world thanks to them.
Walmart?
I wonder while telling the story,
Wally world. Oh. Yeah, never mind.
I wonder while telling the story if it can't slip in like, oh, hey kid, would you like to buy such and such? Right? Or just
tonight,
say yes. Yeah.
Tonight we're reading Princess and the Pea, and we're gonna go along. And peas are currently 49 cents at Amazon.com. Would you like to order?
Yeah, I mean, if it was only that obvious, it wouldn't feel quite as insidious, I mean, this gets down to the same reason that Microsoft and Apple both provided free computers to schools, right? Like, you got to get it into the kids early so that they get used to the devices and they get used to the software, and they'll grow up being addicted to that solution. So, I mean, it's a good move for them. I think it's not necessarily a bad move. I think people that would have made this be the solution for raising their kids and teaching their kids to read are the same people that were not paying attention to their kid anyways. So I don't feel like that's a real legitimate disadvantage. I think it's all around it. It makes it's okay for people. It's brilliant for Amazon. They just want people to be as absorbed with the utilization of their tools as possible. And if you're a business trying to make money, there's nothing wrong with hooking the kids early. That's why Joe Camel sold so many cigarettes. Oh wait, maybe there is something wrong with hooking the kids early.
Okay, how about this story? Looks like the last one of the story of our list. It's HBO Max. HBO Max, their big announcement this week is that they are finally breaking loose from the United States. They are no longer going to be held within the bounds of this country and are now moving into 39 new territories, both in Latin America and the Caribbean. And they are now going to be making it available for in those countries using some different plans than what we get in the States. Their pricing is based on the different regions and what they can get. And they're going to be providing mobile-only plans that'll be less expensive, and standard plans with your 3 simultaneous users, 5 profiles, and you'll get resolutions up to 4K and there as well. Again, you're going to have to check where in your local area to find out how the pricing breaks down for you. But this is them moving out, and it looks like they are also going to be providing the UEFA Championship Leagues later this year, year as well to people in Mexico and Brazil. So, good stuff. Go Latin America, go Caribbean.
Congratulations.
I mean, HBO itself has been in Latin America for years.
But not HBO Max since.
I get that. Okay, they're releasing HBO Max into the outside the U.S., but HBO itself has been outside for years.
Yeah, I wonder why it's taken so long.
Well, it's the agreements, because HBO Max contains content from so many different services. And so many different content, each of those services have agreements with the content creators.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the fact that they got the approval, I think, is momentous. That now I'm curious to see what the programming differences will be in each of those countries. Because, I mean, clearly I don't think the U.S. offering of HBO Max content isn't necessarily gonna serve those other, because but also there's going to be certain things that just aren't going to be available because the content owner says, "Yeah, we're out." In that,
I mean, I think at this length of time, that's probably the big thing that they've been doing, is waiting so long because they have to wait for existing contracts to expire so that they can renegotiate them and stuff. I think it's great.
One thing that the article does point out, that HBO Max will produce 100 local originals in Latin America over the next 2 years. It'll also make the UEFA Championships League events available to subscribers in Mexico and Brazil later in 2021. And then they're also offering the service at a 50% discount with no time limit, as long as they sign up before July 31st. That sounds like a time limit.
Well, I mean, it sounds like that there's no time limit after you get the 50% discount afterwards.
I'm just commenting on the
early bird special.
But yeah, so cool.
Very cool. And that is the news, everyone.
All right. Well, that brings us to the point in the show where we like to say thank you. Thank you to those of you that are supporting us via Patreon. We don't care why you do it. We're just glad that you do. If you are somebody that that finds value in what we do every week, head on over to patreon.com/the VOD Squad.
And when you find it, tell us where it is.
Yeah.
I
wanna
will
know.
say the most recent metric that I looked up said 182 listeners
Nice.
via the stream. So if half of you go over to Patreon, that's more than enough.
Oh yeah,
So
that'd be great.
All right.
Well, yeah, we're not saying that you have to.
no,
but,
no. I'm just saying it would be really
totally be really cool.
nice. Really nice.
All right.
You would immediately become one of our favorite people.
Oh, how nice.
Yes, you can buy our love.
Relatively cheaply too.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
As little as $1 a month.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But why don't we get into the thing that everybody's been waiting for, the rants and the raves. Okay, rant, rave. What's everybody thinking about this week?
I really didn't watch much television, but I did play Stadia on my Chromecast.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to just briefly talk about it. I played a couple different games on that to see how it would work. My Chromecast is attached to my big TV in the other room, and I was very impressed at how well it's working. Every once in a while, my Xbox controller would lose connection to it, but that's because it's the dongle behind the big TV. I suspect that's what's going on there. So I'm curious of if I could do something about that. Also, I do still have the NVIDIA Shield, which also is compatible, and it can take an Ethernet connection, which would be much better as far as the network goes. Although I don't have network there, that's probably something I could do this summer when I have spare time. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the quality of it. I played some Grid, which is a racing game. Mm-hmm. It was great. I played some Arya and the Secret of Seasons, which is extremely kiddie game, but still the gameplay went great and works really good with a controller. It was a free, not free space, but it was a space flight sim. That was amazing, except for the controls on that are super sensitive. It's very different. I would need some work on that to get good at aiming carefully.
Just go into the settings and turn the sensitivity way down.
Probably that's what I need to do. But the last thing I did is I went ahead and turned on Jedi Fallen Order, which is also on there. And I've already played that game, and it's great. But it was really good to see if it was up to snuff with it, and it was amazing too. And then I was realizing, let me play with the settings here. And I didn't realize that it had, because I pay for premium, been giving me 4K version of the game the whole time. So I turned it all the way down to 720p, and yet again I could tell a difference, but it wasn't enough a difference for me to care. And also, yeah, now it was even better. The ever so slight amount of latency I was getting before from my 4K experience, gone. So absolutely rock solid. I loved it. Yeah, both at 4K and at the lower resolution. I'm really happy with it. I'm very. I was worried that the Bluetooth connection also would be somehow latency, and I really could not tell any latency with it. So not any more than I could with any other system. So
let me just point out, not that long ago, experts were telling us that it is not possible to stream video in 4K. The bandwidth will never exist. The hardware will never be there. It is not possible. Yet here he is streaming video games in 4K, which is way more intensive. On a dongle, way more intensive than just sending a 4K picture. So Yes.
So in other words, hey, 4K VR, streaming VR coming now soon. I don't doubt it's going to happen. Give it a couple years. We're going to have streaming VR coming on the next Oculus Rift 3 or whatever. I know it's going to be there and it's going to be awesome. That's what all I got to say. And also, I am also excited about trying out the Xbox the xCloud solution. I think I will wait until I can play it on my TV so I can compare it side to side. I'll have to have some device that will be compatible with it to do that. And I don't know if it has Android support yet for Android TV. So we'll see.
Cool. Next, Jimmy.
So last week, Clyde recommended this show called The Hustler.
Yes.
It's a good show.
And so I logged in to Hulu to watch and looked at there, and it had like this first season, like, I don't know, like 8 episodes or something like that. And so I watched one episode. I said, okay, I'll come back because I thought my wife might like this, right? And I watched one episode, liked it, like, yeah, she'll probably like this. And she was busy working, so I waited for her. So then I logged back in on Monday, and the first season is gone.
Oh.
You can't see it anymore. And the only thing that was there was the second season, which had only 2 episodes so far, right? We did watch those 2 episodes, right? The show's great, but you know, and that's a little unlike Hulu.
No, that's an ABC. Like it's ABC. Because they did the same thing with Holy Moly, which is their other game show, where once the new season is in, they get rid of the previous season, and it makes absolutely no sense. I don't get it. You might be able to
take it away, right? I mean,
I think they may have put it over on Disney Plus.
Maybe it's over there or something. Maybe I'll find it somewhere else, but yeah, I was, had it in my queue. You could see it, I do use the Apple TV queue, that it keeps up there, and it was up there. Mm-hmm. Clicked on it, said, hey, you're going to like this. And I noticed, it's the first episode of season 2. I was like, let me go back. I thought it just did that by default or something. So let me go back to season 1, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, it's not Hulu per se. It's ABC, which is owned by Disney, who also owns Hulu. So technically, yes, same company, but not necessarily, because I only see that with ABC stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, they like to play a shell game with their content.
So what'd you think of the show?
Oh, show was great.
Yeah.
Right. Thought it was really good. A lot of fun. Even my wife got into it. Right. She liked it.
So
right?
I assume she watched you watched an episode from season 2 with her. So did you notice any difference between him in season 1 episode that you watched in the season 2 episode?
Yeah, you made the comment that he's a little toned down.
It feels like they toned it down a little bit.
Maybe.
But yeah, you didn't get to watch the whole first season either, so.
No, it was just the first episode, right?
Yeah.
So, but I did notice that I saw the Snake Cup in the first season, but did not see it in the second season.
Not yet. Not yet. For those of you that don't know that when he had this snake, it was a coiled up rattlesnake cup that was on his desk for his late show. And I noticed it in the background during season 1, and it made me very happy that the cup was back.
Yeah, he would use,
and he'd sit back there drinking with it sometimes.
Yeah, the snake cup would be a good prop for him a lot of times when he had his talk show.
It was, it's kind of become, I mean, if the only thing that would be better than him having the cup on there is if Jeff came on as a guest host.
Oh yeah.
We need Jeff as a guest, or we at least a contestant. Oh, Jeff should be a contestant on the Hustler.
Yeah, or maybe at least appear in one of those paintings that they have in the
For those of
wall.
you that don't know Jeff was the robot skeleton on the Late Show. As he was designed by Grant Imahara.
Really?
Yeah.
But,
one of the best parts of that show. So
but yeah,
awesome.
I enjoyed that, The Hustler. So got to find the first season so I can go back and watch that. Wherever it's hiding at. I'll find it out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you hadn't checked that one out, Claude made a good recommendation last week, and so I'm giving that a second this week. That if you haven't watched that, that's a good one to watch.
And then, did you finish Bosch?
I did not finish. I am into it though.
Okay.
I'm probably about halfway.
All right.
It took me a couple minutes to find the correct The Hustler because there are a lot of
Well,
shows
there's the
called
movie and
another movie and more movies. Apparently, there's a lot of them.
well, there's also a media franchise based around that name.
Season 1 is only streaming on if you have the Direct TV. There's a way to watch it using their direct thing. Only one episode, and if you use the ABC app, only one episode of season 1. Sorry, they're being persnickety.
It's an ABC thing. Because last summer the same thing happened with Holy Moly. Season 2 had started, and I went to show my buddy, and we went on to Hulu, and all of a sudden it was there the day before, and we went on there, and all of a sudden season 1's gone, and it was just season 2. Yeah, it's an ABC thing. But all right, rock on. Mike. Mike has no audio.
I don't have a lot of streaming ideas or shows that I've been watching. Was mostly up in the mountains where we didn't have a lot of TV and a lot of options to watch.
So you were watching the Nature Channel?
I was watching the Nature Channel through the window.
Yeah.
The graphics really sucked. I was wishing I had 4K.
It was very unrealistic.
It was so unreal. Like, come on, guys. You can do better than this. Yeah. No, it was fun, but I did a little bit before and have since I got back, played a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons. And I gotta say, that's a really good game. If you're looking for a fun, casual game that you can play with your kids, it's great. I really have enjoyed it so far. We got to the end boss, at least of the first zone, and got annihilated really fast. That was very difficult. So we were like, we need to level up a little bit more before we do it. But it's fun. It's provided a good number of hours of entertainment, and I'm sure it'll provide a lot more.
So let me ask, is that like a roguelike? Or
no, it's
more like an RPG with set.
I would compare it a lot to Diablo from a play experience perspective. It's that kind of game, just not as dark and mature. Very, very kid friendly. So
yeah, my son bought it for me for Father's Day, so we played it too a little bit, and it's a lot of fun. And it's great couch co-op as well. So
yeah,
definitely. And we could even, if you wanted, somehow get ourselves 4-player on that, but I don't know, crazy. Yeah, cool game. I guys agree, absolutely.
All right, rock on. So this week was kind of sad. Actually, the last few months have been kind of sad because a lot of my favorite shows have been ending.
Oh.
And this week I finally wrapped up Lucifer. The last episode's been out for a couple months. I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch it.
Did they do it justice?
I mean,
no spoilers, but
yeah, I don't know.
Did you enjoy it?
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Oh.
It was okay, I guess, with a question mark. is the best I could do.
Well, as the rule of Clyde goes, that means probably a lot of people liked it.
A lot of people probably liked it, and a lot of people probably hated it because I'm just right in the. I don't know. I was kind of indifferent. I will say, Bosch. I don't think it was my favorite season. It ended exactly where I figured it would. It's something I kind of called during the first season. But on the bright side, and I don't think it's a spoiler because they've already made the announcement that the Bosch series is done, but the Bosch character is not. There is an untitled Bosch spinoff that will be start filming soon, which once I knew that like months ago, it solidified in my mind that my original thought during the first season of how the series was going to end was exactly how it was going to end. And next week, when Jimmy's done, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I'll probably be done by next week.
Yeah. It was a fairly easy watch. I ended up watching like the first 3 or 4 episodes in like a sitting, and then over the weekend knocked out the last, because there's only like 8 episodes. So
Okay. Oh, well then I'm probably more than halfway. I think I've gone through 5, maybe something.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's only 8 episodes. And I might be wrong, but it wasn't extremely long. And
But I will say the 5 episodes I'm in on it, it's an excellent season. You know, I don't know. I mean, yeah, probably. I wouldn't say maybe it's my favorite season, but
No.
it's still good, and it's still a good quality.
yeah,
show.
I
Even-
wasn't saying it was a bad season. I was just
Yeah.
saying I was kind of on the whole story this time. It felt a little like they were kind of phoning it in just because we just need to get this thing done. Because past seasons have been very intricate, the stories and the layers. This one just kind of felt like, here's a couple things, and they don't really matter to each other, but whatever.
What season is it that just ended?
7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm a season behind that too.
So, yeah. But like I said, they ended it in a spot that made sense, and I was happy with it because, like I said, it was exactly what I called after I watched the first season. So, all right.
All right.
Okay, well, hey, this was a show.
Really?
I know. It's hard to
What?
believe. And for those of you that were here, thanks for hanging out. It's always good to see you. For those of you that are listening after the fact, we appreciate that. But reminder, there is a live show. If you come join us live every Wednesday here at Twitch at 9 p.m. Central, come on over. You get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles which we are going to vote on here in the post show. And yes, there is a post show that you only get to see if you're here on Twitch. And this week, we actually have a couple things to talk about in the post show.
What?
So, we actually we're going into it prepared for once.
Yeah, usually it's just random stuff. We'll just talk about whatever
which
we want.
is usually fun on its own.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's an agenda. So, but you'll never know if you're not here. But if you are looking or watching this after the fact video on Twitch or on YouTube, and you would prefer to just listen to us, you can do that too. Go to wherever your favorite podcast repository is located and look for the VOD Squad, you will find it. If you don't find it, let us know, and we'll make sure that it shows up there. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for hanging out with me, and we will wrap this up, and we'll catch all of you next week. All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.